The night was quiet, save for the soft whimpers of a boy curled up under the splintered steps of a crumbling porch. His breath fogged in the cold air as he pulled a thin hoodie tighter around his bruised body. 10-year-old Caleb hadn't spoken in days, not since the last time his stepfather's fist silenced his voice. The bruises would fade, but the silence had become permanent, like a wall too high to climb. No one had come for him. No one ever did, but fate was about to send someone unexpected, someone with 4 legs, silvering fur, and a past marked by heroism and loss. Just a few blocks away, in a modest house at the edge of town, an old German shepherd named Echo lay on a patchwork rug, his eyes half-lidded in restless retirement. He had served on the force for 8 years, sniffing out danger, chasing criminals, and even taking a bullet for his handler, Officer Jake Morrison. But age had slowed him down, and after one final operation, Jake made the bittersweet decision to let him live the rest of his life in peace. Jake had been Echo's partner and best friend. The bond between them was more than professional, it was spiritual, forged in moments of adrenaline and trust. But since retirement, Echo had grown quieter, more restless. Some nights he paced the house, whining softly at the door, as if he sensed something beyond it, something broken in the world that still needed fixing. It was a Tuesday when their paths crossed. Jake had taken Echo on a walk through the wooded path near the outskirts of town, hoping to soothe the dog's anxiety. The sky was heavy with gray clouds, and the forest felt damp, weighed down by early spring rains. As they passed an old neighborhood, Echo suddenly stopped. His ears perked up, nose twitching in the wind. And then he bolted. "Echo!" Jake shouted, sprinting after him. The shepherd weaved through backyards and down alleyways, until he stopped in front of a dilapidated house. Jake caught up, panting, just in time to see Echo circle the porch, nose to the ground, before sticking his head under the steps. That's when Jake heard it too, a muffled, shaky breath. He knelt and gently called out, "Hey there, buddy. Are you okay?" No response. Then a flash of movement. A pale, dirty face with haunted eyes peeked out, arms trembling as they reached for Echo's snout. The dog stayed perfectly still, letting the boy touch him. And in that fragile moment, something shifted. Caleb didn't speak, but his eyes widened with wonder and something close to hope. Jake's heart twisted in his chest. Caleb was taken into protective custody that night. The bruises told a clear story: neglect, physical abuse, and abandonment. The authorities acted quickly, placing him in a temporary group home. But trauma doesn't vanish with shelter. Caleb wouldn't speak, wouldn't eat much, and flinched at every raised voice or sudden movement. Jake couldn't forget the boy's eyes or the way Echo had instinctively found him. He began visiting the group home, bringing Echo along. The staff welcomed them, grateful for the distraction and hope they offered. Each visit, Caleb grew a little braver. He never spoke, but he always sat near Echo, burying his face in the dog's fur, gripping tightly as if the dog was the only solid thing in a shifting world. Then, during one spring afternoon, something incredible happened. Caleb had fallen asleep beside Echo, one arm draped over the dog's neck. As Jake chatted with the social worker nearby, he heard a soft voice, barely audible. "Echo, good dog." Jake turned, stunned. Tears sprang to his eyes. It was the first time anyone had heard Caleb speak since he was rescued. From that day forward, something bloomed inside Caleb. The words came slowly, but they came. He began drawing. Again, sketching Echo in bright colors. He asked questions. He smiled. It wasn't constant. There were still nightmares, still moments when he shrank back into his shell, but the light was there, flickering brighter with each day. But healing isn't linear. One day, a new boy arrived at the group home, angry and loud. He taunted Caleb, calling him names, poking at old wounds. Caleb relapsed, refusing to talk or come out of his room. Even Echo's presence didn't help at first. Then Jake had an idea. He brought a small box to Caleb's room. Inside was a medal, Echo's service medal for bravery under fire. "He took a bullet once," Jake said gently. "He almost died saving someone. But Echo didn't stop working after that. He didn't run from the world. He faced it, and so can you." Caleb stared at the medal. He took it slowly, then looked at Echo, who wagged his tail with gentle encouragement. That night, Caleb left his room. 2 years later, Caleb stood proudly in front of his new home, a foster family that had fallen in love with him during the healing process. He held Echo's leash as the dog, slower now but still proud, sat beside him. Jake had officially signed over custody of Echo to Caleb and his new family. "Retirement's better with a best friend," Jake had said with a grin. Caleb smiled, something radiant and full of strength. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was living, and more importantly, he was loving. The world can break us, twist us into silence and shadows. But sometimes, healing doesn't come from words or therapy or medication alone. Sometimes, it comes from a cold nose nudging your hand under a broken porch. From fur you can bury your pain into. From a hero with 4 legs who reminds you, gently, persistently, that you are not alone. And that even in the darkest places, love can find a way in.